Lots of us can work remotely now, whether that's at home or perhaps in a coffee shop.
But if you take your office into a public space, it can cause a bit of tension with other customers who might want to get that chair or that table, not have you sitting there all day. Nina is in Lincolnshire for us this morning, investigating. Are you hogging that table, Nina?
I overstay my welcome every morning, John. Yes, good morning. It is a modern cultural conundrum, isn't it? How long is too long when it comes to sitting, having your coffee, answering a few emails, doing a bit of work away from the office? Yes, the owners want you in here to buy that coffee, but if you stay for too long, here, for example, I'd be taking up a table of 4 when a family might want to come in and have lunch. And we're seeing more of this because as things stand, almost half of people now are working away from the office at some point, either at home or in a coffee shop, and at least a quarter or around a quarter of workers say that they spend at least a day a week in a coffee shop or bar restaurant environment in order to work. In a moment, we'll be talking to the owners of this place. They've come up with a really good solution that they think suits everyone. But first of all, we asked some workers in South Manchester whether they think it's fair to treat a cafe as an office.
I have a couple of times. I don't think I've done it to like scrounge off of the electricity or the Wi-Fi. I know a lot of people that would do, but I think it's a nice environment to work in. I think if you keep ordering food and drinks, and I think it's justified that you sit there.
Yeah, I think most people realise if you're in there and it's been like an hour and a half and you've not bought something, I think most people really kind of do that. A lot of the places around here, though, you kind of get to know the people who are serving and stuff, and you come in, they're already like, flat white, sit down, and they know that they're not going to bother you for another 45 minutes because you're going to be working, and then you'll order something after that.
I don't really think it's fair, especially for other customers, because they want to be coming into the cafe and having their lunch, and if you're taking up a table, then they can't come in and sit.
So most of us do have a keen sense of awareness when it comes to overstaying our welcome. But Nick, you've come up with a solution that means for £12.50, you can have unlimited tea and coffee for the day, use your decent broadband and treat this as an office space.
Office team meetings, just networking, interviews. It works for everyone really. 10% off your lunch, as also 10% after work drinks.
Who's coming in?
It's everyone from people that work at home, kids at home in the school holidays, so they can't work there, people without their office anymore, just people, mental health reasons. It's for everyone, really.
And a community vibe here.
Beautiful, yeah.
And also, Nick, it stops those eggy conversations about, oh, you've been here a bit longer and people feeling awkward. Let's talk to Debbie, because she's working at the Burley Horse Trials up the road. You're on the road a lot. I'm guessing when you find an environment like this to work in, it's a godsend.
It is. It makes such a difference. Having reliable broadband, having nice coffee to drink, having somewhere comfortable to sit when you're working around the country, up and down the motorways, on events based in fields a lot of the time. It's great to be able to find a base like this and just make the most of it.
And you work with some big teams, some small teams. Let me ask you about that £12.50 per person price point for the office for the day. Would that work for your team?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We're up the road at the moment working at the Defender Burley Horse Trials, and we need team meetings every so often. It's great to bring the guys back here, get a nice coffee, and from a price point, it's amazing, and they really appreciate the 10% off the drinks after 4 o'clock. So
I know that I'd get through 12 quid's worth of coffee very quickly. Thank you very much, Debbie. Let's talk to Andrew, who represents small retailers. We were chatting about this earlier. It's delicate because retailers want to make their punters feel welcome, but then having to have that conversation when they've stayed too long. Is this a decent solution, do you think?
Yes, I think where we have space, this outlet has space, then they've accommodated it very well, and there's freedom of choice for the customer. They can book a space knowing they're going to be there for hours, or they can pop in for half an hour and have a coffee. The challenge really is for the smaller outlets where there's a small number of tables, and people hogging a table for an hour or two just drinking a coffee is not necessarily the best business for that outlet, especially at peak times.
What would you say to customers, though? Because often it is not deliberate, it's a lack of awareness. They might be watching that and thinking, oh, crikey, that's me, I just didn't realise.
No, I agree. I mean, I do that. I'm working in places like this. We get immersed in our emails or whatever we're reading, and it's easy to lose track of time. I think the message is, don't forget, this is a business. These are businesses. Those business pressures have increasing cost of labour, energy, food, whatever it may be. And we all have to realise that there's a contribution needed for that space. It's crucial cover, it's crucial spend per head for that business.
Thank you, Andrew. And I think that's it, John and Sally. Pennies are tight for individual workers at the moment, but also for these businesses. Every cover counts when it comes to occupying that space. It's really great at the moment, because I've spent the last 4 years talking to businesses about the struggles. This feels like a solution that could fit the bill for both sides.
You found the answer, Nina. Thank you.